Wow, dear friends, $300? Many families may finally see recurring inflation relief checks once again. Our lawmakers have suggested that these payments be automatically deposited and mailed out to Americans as long as they meet the eligibility requirements. Friends, please make sure you watch until the end of this video to learn how you may be eligible for this financial aid. Also, I will be giving away 4 $75 Walmart gift cards every week. Please enter the giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. Friends, the more videos that you leave a comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. During the months of October, November, and December, I will also be surprising several of you with $200 gift cards. It will be given to those of you that have been in this community for several months. It is a simple way of saying thank you so very much for joining me here every day.
And we know that the future does lie in clean energy, and right here that means offshore wind. I have been talking about this for such a long time, speaking at offshore wind conferences in the city and all over, because I've always believed that this is the place that we could designate as the epicenter of the offshore wind industry, not just for this state, but for this country. And today we're here to talk about the steps to make that happen. But I also come here with this strong sense of history, not just about the future, we're talking about the history, because I grew up in a part of our state where there wasn't a lot of reverence for the environment. When you grew up in Lackawanna, New York, and as a child you just assumed that the skies were supposed to be orange because that's the color of the smoke billowing out of the smokestacks where Dad and Grandpa and his brothers worked. Lackawanna, New York, where I was born. But also not just the air, the water. One of the largest freshwater bodies of water on this earth, Lake Erie, was contaminated, and we visibly saw the daily dumping of, looked like molten lava into that lake. And we swam in that lake. It's actually amazing that we're all still alive when you think about it. But it was a time when people put the premium on the jobs. And literally this was just down the road from Love Canal. So when you talk about being an environmentalist, this is the world I came from, because I've seen the scourge of assaults from mankind on Mother Nature and what it did. And I'm proud to have lived at a time when we had the enlightened view that should stop. But also, how do we transition to a different future? Yes, that is in the rearview mirror now, but what does the new future look like? And it really truly is offshore wind. I mean, this is where it's happening. It's plentiful supply. It's God-given. It's always going to be there. And I'm so proud that we can make these changes, because we've seen the battering that Long Island has taken as a result of climate change. I've said before, we're the first generation to really feel the effects of climate change. We're also the last generation that can do anything about it. And we think about what happened with Sandy just a decade ago. I was going to say we're going to celebrate. You don't celebrate a hurricane that took the lives of countless innocent people, destroyed livelihoods, destroyed businesses, battered our psyche when you felt so vulnerable. And we've been spending a decade rebuilding, but you're always feeling that vulnerability again, that there's always that next storm, the so-called 500-year, 1,000-year events.
The latest poll asked respondents about the major issues facing the United States. The responses highlighted familiar problems and challenges for millions of Americans, which are the economy, inflation, and the health of our democracy. Many Americans have also pointed to the 3 rounds of stimulus checks and expanded monthly child tax credits as a vital lifeline during the crisis. The expansion, which was passed as part of President Biden's crisis relief program, delivered hundreds of dollars into parents' bank accounts every month in 2021, and ultimately helped 65 million children and kept 3.7 million children out of poverty. The expanded child tax credit was one of the most significant policy achievements of the Biden era. Half of the enhanced sum was made available through monthly payments starting last July, and that was up to $300 per child under age 6 and up to $250 per child under the age of 18. So Democrats had hoped to renew the more generous credit this year, but key legislation they hoped to pass through a one-party majority fell apart when Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia opposed renewing the payments without any additional work requirements. Advocates for the expanded child tax credit say that they're looking ahead to next steps. The first opportunity for new legislation could come at the end of this year when Congress negotiates extensions on expiring business tax breaks. Many advocates are also looking at new administrative solutions at the Internal Revenue Service and thinking more seriously about state-level reform amid state budget surpluses and new research detailing just how much families benefited from the now expired expanded federal credit. So one lawmaker told reporters this week, "We are going to focus on it over the next couple of months to see if we can get it included in a tax extender bill." During the past year, as inflation wreaked havoc on bank accounts and also eroded the value of existing family benefits, lawmakers have faced pressure to offer some sort of relief. The key word for this video is San Diego, California. If you would like to enter the next Walmart gift card giveaway, which is scheduled for today, please make sure that you click and like several of my videos and then comment below this keyword, which is San Diego, California, and additional keywords of any video of mine that you watch. And do make sure, friends, that you are subscribed to my channel. Republicans have also been facing more pressure to support American families, and a proposal introduced by Republican Senators Mitt Romney, Richard Burr, and Steve Daines to distribute monthly cash payments to parents has garnered a great amount of support. The Republican proposal includes a requirement that families can earn at least $10,000 to receive its full benefit. The Republican proposal includes a work requirement that families must earn at least $10,000 to receive its full benefit, the kind of work requirement that progressives rejected during the reconciliation. To reach a bipartisan deal at the end of this year, both Republicans and Democrats would need to reach an agreement on whether work requirements should be required in order to receive expanded child tax credit payments. So friends, what are your thoughts on this? Should the child tax credit payments be extended? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Mitt Romney's new child tax credit proposal, which is called the Family Security Act 2.0, would increase the maximum annual child tax credit from $2,000 to $4,200 for each child under the age of 6, and then $3,000 for each child ages 6 through 17, which would be paid out in monthly installments. Expecting parents could also qualify for an additional $2,800 during the final 4 months of their pregnancy. The phase-in of Mitt Romney's plan, meaning the time at which families could start receiving their benefit, is much faster compared to the status quo. Right now, the first $2,500 of earnings does not count towards child tax credit eligibility, while Mitt Romney's plan would phase in the credit beginning with the family's first earned dollar. The expansion would all be financed by consolidating other tax benefits, including a significant revamp of the Earned Income Tax Credit. The Center on Budget and Policy Priority estimates that the number of children living in poverty would decline by 1.3 million under the Romney proposal, and that roughly 20 million children in families who earn less than $50,000 a year would be better off. But analysts also argue that roughly 10 million children would be worse off under the Mitt Romney plan, due in part to its proposed cuts to the Earned Income Tax Credit and the elimination of the head of household tax filing status, which millions of single parents use when they file their income tax returns. Please comment below whether Congress should have a work requirement for the expanded child tax credit payment. Well, my amazing and dearest friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Thank you so much for joining me here every day when I post a new video. I greatly and truly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, my friends, and have a wonderful and blessed weekend.